Hi, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Right, today we're going to try to dial in the beans that I've roasted last week. The beans that we are preparing today is the Kenya Ocklands pea berries. Right, I actually roast it to a medium, so it may not be that suitable for espresso. I've tried it over the V60 and it's really great. It's very citrus, very fruity, and very bright. But we're going to try to see whether it's the same for espresso. So as usual, we measure about 18 grams of beans. Right, you can take a look at the pea berries. They are quite small in size. And it's unlike the normal beans whereby it's only half of it. The pea berry is actually is a full berry. Right, normally the coffee beans that you see is already split into half, right? But this pea berry comes in one whole piece as a fruit. Right, so as usual, we will warm up the machine. Right, the proper warming up is actually holding the single shot button until the manual logo comes out, and then you release it and let the water run for about 10 seconds, and then you stop it. Right, this is what I've learned from Abby, my technician friend, who has taught me how to do a proper warm up on the Barista Pro. So far the machine is working very well. There's no more problem with short ending at about 5 seconds later and ending with 3 bits. There's no more issue of that. And as a habit, I always check whether there's a retention in the brewing grinder. So I always measure out the portafilter with my dosing funnel, and later on I'll check whether the beans is about 18.3 grams, which I've already weighed out just now. The current setting is at setting of 3, right? The inner burr is still at default of 6. So far I've checked that the built-in grinder is actually not too bad for a single dose. Normally it will retain about 0.2 to 0.4 grams of coffee if you activate the grind again after the bean has been totally grinded. And today you can see that I'm using something like a needle shaped object which I designed with Fusion 360 and 3D printed. Right, I call it a Fluffynator. Right, it's actually to make the coffee ground more fluffy. I'm sure there are designs out there, but this is just my own version. Basically I use acupuncture needles, right? And I feel that they are very thin, very fine, and yet they have great tensile strength, and they can be bent to such a, they can be bent easily and still return to its original shape. And it's fine enough that it doesn't leave behind huge gaps in the coffee ground. So now you can see that with my dosing funnel on, I can insert the Fluffynator inside and start to stir, and I don't have to worry that the coffee ground is spilled. Right, so you can see after stirring, the coffee ground is much it doesn't, the crumb has been removed and it doesn't have it's quite fluffy, right? If you have a good grinder, then you don't really have to do this. Right, so you can see that the ground is now, the crumbs are all broken up. So it's a simple tool, and yet it's quite good to break up the crumbs of the coffee ground. And gentle tap at the side after I use the distributor, then I distribute again. Right, normally if you set the distributor to a correct depth, you don't have to temp it, but I was just temp it slightly to feel that the ground cannot be depressed anymore. Let's see the first shot, because this is the first time I'm trying to dial in the new bin, so probably have to do a few runs to make sure that the extraction is good. So as usual, we are aiming for a ratio of 1:2. So let's look closer at the extraction from the bottomless portafilter. Oh, you can see that the shot was running very fast. So that shows that my grind size is too coarse. So I have to adjust the grinder to be finer. However, you can see that there's not many squirting, which shows that the ground was quite well distributed. Right, you can see that within about 20 seconds I extracted about 50 grams or 51 grams of coffee. So that's actually too fast. And don't worry if you see that the puck is stuck with the group head. That's probably because the puck is too wet and the moisture is too high, and hence it gets stuck on the group head. Just pry it and you drop it down. Okay, let's rinse the cup and try to go for a second shot. Personally, I'm quite particular about the cleanliness of my workstation, so I always clean the espresso machine and make sure that there's no stain remaining behind. Otherwise, it will become quite hard to clean as the stain accumulate over the machine. My machine has been I've been using my machine for about 1 year, and it's still in very pristine condition. Probably the next video I'll show you how I do a thorough cleaning, all the way from the drip tray to the shower screen. I'll probably remove the shower screen and clean the inside as well in the next video. Right, so let's go for a second shot to see how it goes this time. So you can see that dialing in the bean is part and parcel of making good espresso. But once you get the idea of how to dial in the beans, it becomes not really a chore, but it can be done rather quick. So just now I was at a grind size of 3 and it runs really fast. So now I'll reduce the grind size to 1, and probably I'll temp harder this time. Right, so I can see that the grind size has been reduced to 1. Right, as usual, you can see that the coffee ground has quite a bit of big crumbs So I'm just going to use the Fluffynator that I've designed to break up the crumbs again. I know some of you probably use like toothpick and probably paper clips and to break up the crumbs, but I just find that this, since I have a 3D printer and I have knowledge on 3D design, so I can design such a tool to make the workflow much easier and the extraction to be better. So you can see that the coffee ground is now really fluffy and loosen up. Right, I even designed a stand for the Fluffynator to sit on. So as usual, distribute, gentle knock, distribute again, and temp. I know some of you after distribute don't temp anymore, but I just want to achieve a consistent extraction, so I'll usually temp after distribute. So let's see how the extraction go this time. And one good thing about using a bottomless polyfilter is you can see how well your extraction has undergone, and you can see how well the distribution has been done as well, and how well you temp your ground as well. So let's see how the shot looks this time. As usual, we try to aim a ratio of 1:2. Right, I use about 18 grams of coffee, so I'm expecting about 36 to 37 grams of espresso out. You can see the extraction is much slower as compared to just now, and it looks pretty good. That's what you expect from a freshly roasted coffee beans. The color is really beautiful. Looks like a good shot. Right, I stopped at about 32 to 33 seconds. Probably I grind a bit too fine, or maybe I temp slightly too hard, so the extraction is slightly slower, but it's still acceptable. Alright, let's make a latte, and hope I can produce a good latte art. Right, again the puck is stuck on the group head, but don't worry about it. Just gently use your fingers to tap it, and it will drop off. And you'll be good that after your extraction is done, rinse your group head with a blind shot, so that you can make sure that the group head remain clean without any coffee ground. And recently my steam wand nozzle was actually stuck and no steam was actually coming out, and the Barista Pro comes with a tool, looks like a pin that you can insert into the steam wand nozzle to clear up the clog. And after that the steam has become more powerful, and I can finish the steaming in about less than 30 seconds. So it's much more powerful as compared to last time. Alright, I hope you have enjoyed so far what I've done today, dialing the new beans and using the new Fluffynator that I've designed. And do share with me what kind of device you use to break up the crumbs on your coffee ground. But hope you like what we have done today, and stay tuned for the next video whereby I'll be servicing the Barista Pro by taking out the group head, taking out the shower screen and do a deep cleaning of the grinder as well. So, have a great day, and hope to see you soon. Do remember to subscribe to my channel if you like what we have been doing so far, and stay tuned for updates.